Hi, this is Meredith with the Cedar Rapids Public Library. I wanted to take the opportunity to share with you some information that I found regarding how to stay safe during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, this isn't about washing hands and social distancing. This is about knowing what kind of scams are going on, who could potentially be the most vulnerable, and how to find the most reliable information for keeping your financial well-being intact during these very uncertain times. I think it's important to talk about a couple underlying factors which give this opportunity to scammers to take advantage of people. No matter how much we want to think that we are totally intellectual beings, our emotions do factor into our decisions. It's a scary time, it's an uncertain time, and we really want for the best for our families and ourselves. Now, I think we've all noticed that the news changes so fast as well. Headlines change daily, new situations, new setups, new directives. And so with information changing so rapidly, it's easy to lose track of what is going on currently and what could possibly be a scam regarding those headlines. For as many different people that there are out there trying to take advantage of others, there's a different kind of scam. I wanted to just kind of lay out some of the most basic things that you should be looking out for. Maybe some things you've already thought of, maybe you haven't. Right now, two of the most prevalent kinds of scams are text and email. I think we all get plenty of junk mail delivered to us digitally every day, and it seems to ever be increasing. There's still the good old-fashioned way by phone and by mail that people are trying to take advantage of, especially older adults. But you also have to be aware of things like malware and electronic viruses, especially in emails and pop-ups. Clicking on things that you're not familiar with could very easily cause some sort of malware or electronic virus to infect your device and steal your personal information. And unfortunately, people are still willing to set you up face to face. There have even been some fake COVID-19 testing pop-ups that have occurred across the country. So just because you see somebody and look them in the eye doesn't mean they're necessarily going to be honest with you. Just like there are many different methods for running a scam, there are different topics as well. In my research, I found that there are 4 big categories that scammers are trying to use right now. It's for bogus treatment, phishing for information, unauthorized charities, and investment or monetary fraud. Now, what this looks like in practice then is the promise for miracle cures or super soon vaccines, paying extra for quicker test results, those fake testing pop-up tents or fake charities, that both of those will use logos look very similar to trusted entities like hospitals or charities. There's a lot of talk about paying a little extra money up front to get your stimulus check first. There's a lot of Medicare fraud, student loan fraud, help for mortgage fraud, entities asking you to pay for things with gift cards, and price gouging that's going on at this time. With this extra information about how to identify scams and the possibility thereof, the next step is what to do to avoid them. I went to the Federal Trade Commission's website and got a little bit of information that I'd like to share with you. Here are their top 5 tips for avoiding coronavirus scams. 1 is just absolutely ignore offers for vaccinations and home test kits. You can also just hang right up on robocalls. Don't entertain them. Watch out for phishing emails and text messages. Do your research before you donate to any charity, and stay in the know. If you're staying up to date on information in the news coming from valid sources, then you're going to know that it's not possible to get a vaccine yet or a home test kit yet. Things like that. Let me share with you just a couple more things to help you make some informed decisions. When you're trying to evaluate if a robocall is really a robocall or if it's somebody that you might know or an entity that you trust, think about this rule of 3. Ask yourself, where is this information coming from? Have you ever heard of this company? Does somebody identify themselves by a name? Think about, what do they actually want? Are they looking for your personal information? Do they want a bank account number? Do they want your social security number? And what is the evidence? Have you ever heard of them before? Have you seen something about whatever their topic is in the news? Have you seen it on your local news or from a city or county or state or federal website? These are all great questions to ask when you're deciding if something's a scam or not. So, in the research that I've done, I've found some kind of baseline things to observe when trying to identify fraud or dealing with potentially fraudulent situations. So, my quick tips are that 1, Medicare won't call you to ask you for your personal information. If someone claiming to be from Medicare is asking you for your social security number and your bank account number, rethink that. You should not be obligated to give that information. And then another thing to note is that you shouldn't have to give anyone money up front for services that they're trying to offer you. One specific instance is when people are being approached with help paying for their mortgage or kind of other financing options right now. But no, you do not have to give anyone that money up front. And as unnerving as it can be to be watching the local news these days, it is important to stay up to date with what's happening in your local community. Not just in terms of what scams have already been detected, but so that you know what information you can trust for your community and your neighborhood. Also, I mentioned it previously, but regarding charity scams or even business scams, lots of criminals try very closely to match their logos to something that they know that you'll trust. So always take a second closer look before you click send or write out a check. So then, who can you really trust? I'm going to show you a couple resources that are valid and authoritative from the Federal Trade Commission at the federal level to state and local governments, where you can get the most up-to-date information that you know you can trust. The Federal Trade Commission is where I got most of the information for this presentation. At the time that I'm recording this, they still were able to have representatives available to chat with citizens throughout the day regarding your questions and taking reports of fraudulent behavior. If you visit the website, you'll see that there's so much more. They have a blog which turns out a lot of information for consumers. You can subscribe for updates on scams to be sent directly to your inbox. They have a list of current scams, and then of course, tips for protecting yourself from fraudulent behavior. At the state level, the Iowa Attorney General's office has lots of information for consumers. Some of it's similar to what you'll find at the Federal Trade Commission's website, but also regarding price gouging during times when people are feeling economically insecure and emotionally insecure. Price gouging is illegal no matter what's going on in the world, and you can visit the website or call the phone numbers listed here for more information. And just a reminder, staying up to date with information about the coronavirus and COVID-19 happens at many different levels. The federal level, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention; the state level, the Iowa Department of Public Health; the county level, Lynn County has a COVID-19 info page; and of course, the city of Cedar Rapids has their own information as well. For all that I've had to say about gloom and doom and not trusting your neighbors, I will say there is a lot of good out there, and it's important to trust your gut. If something doesn't seem right to you, then it probably isn't. One of the most empowering things of all of this that I learned in my research is that citizen reporting is what keeps fraudulent behavior to a minimum. If there's something that's fishy to you, then contact your local police department, contact the state attorney general office, contact the Federal Trade Commission. As long as you're getting your information out there, someone's going to be able to investigate and stop all of the perpetrators that could potentially be harming a lot of us all at once. I hope that you found this information helpful, and I hope that all of you are out there doing your best to stay safe and take good care. From all of us here at the Cedar Rapids Public Library, thanks for watching.